The sun does arise and makes happy the skies. The merry bells ring to welcome the spring. The skylark and thrush, the birds of the bush. That's where I lose it, guys. I got about 6 lines down, but it's a start. Echoing Green by William Blake. Keep practicing it. We'll try to give everyone a chance to recite it in, let's say, not this Friday, but the following Friday, so like 10 days or so. Let's talk Robin Hood, Chapter 6. The youngster was clothed in scarlet red, and scarlet fine and gay, and he did frisk it over the plain, and chatted a roundelay. All right, if you were like me, and you didn't have any idea what the heck a roundelay was, we've got these cool annotations in the book, don't forget those. A roundelay is a simple song with a line that repeats often. So Will Scarlet is coming down the dirt path, and he's singing a little song, and of course Robin Hood thinks he's gonna basically accost him quite easily, get a little bit of money from him quite easily, but it turns out that Will Scarlet is actually his cousin, Will Gamewell, and Will Gamewell is game for a fight. They battle it out with their quarterstaffs. Turns out that he's a really good fighter, and they make the connection that they're cousins, and Will has actually come to join Robin Hood. Let's talk a little bit about, we've met a lot of characters in the book, so I want to have a brief discussion on characters. You guys are all familiar with what a character is because you watch movies, you read books, you've seen plays. A character, for our purposes, we're going to define a character as a person in a work of literature. So there are several characters, and yes, an animal can be a character, right? But typically, when an animal becomes a character, they start giving them human-like qualities, right? Like the animal can talk, or the animal wears clothes. So the animal becomes like a person, and therefore a character. We call that anthropomorphism, but that's a different lesson altogether. Right now we're dealing with a book with people, so let's just focus on a person in a work of literature. So, of course, for characters to become interesting, we have to have characterization. And that's the way an author reveals a character. Now, I use the word reveals. Sometimes you see the word builds, the way an author builds a character. But I like the word reveals because some authors explain that the character, it's like they already exist in their imagination, and they just try to show us who the character is, so they kind of reveal them in a way. It's like they already existed. Maybe that's a little far-fetched, but I think it's kind of cool to think that the authors make an effort not so much to create a character, but to kind of find this character and let him kind of free him to us or bring him to us. It's kind of a cool way to think about it. But whether you use the word the author's building a character or revealing a character, there's a kind of several ways of doing this, or these certain ways of doing this. And you guys recognize these things. They're actions, right? We recognize who a character is by their actions. Robin Hood, right? His actions are brave. His actions are clever. His actions are just and noble, right? Their words. Their words, of course, we talked about wit. Robin Hood and Little John use a lot of witty words and wordplay. We can tell from their words that they're clever guys, that they are inventive guys, and they're interesting, and they're also good friends. Their thoughts, we can tell. Let's look at the king as a different example. We were, kind of exposed, or his thoughts were revealed to us when Robin Hood was supposedly this ignorant butcher who had no idea what the price of a cow was worth, and the author revealed the king's thoughts, and the king's thoughts were of greed and of taking advantage of this butcher. So that tells us a bit about who the king is. Their appearance, right? Even things down to like Little John's height. The fact that Little John is this big, strong man that creates more of his character, that reveals more of this character to us. A really good example here is one of our newer characters, Will Scarlet. They call him Will Scarlet because he's dressed all in scarlet, and he's got kind of nice hair and this fine curled feather. He's dressed like a dandy, or something of a preppy guy, or however you want to describe it. But his appearance tells us a lot about who he is. And then lastly, reputation. What other characters in the book think and say about a person. We know more about Robin Hood because he has a reputation as a defender of the weak. We know more about the sheriff because he has a reputation as a person who takes advantage of the weak, essentially a bad guy. Let's look at a little list of some of the characters that we've met so far. Think about their actions, their words, their thoughts, their appearance, and their reputations. Robin Hood, Little John, the Sheriff, Will Stutely, Will Scarlet, Friar Tuck. We probably could add Maid Marian to the list, although we'll learn more about her as we go. And Friar Tuck, we're going to meet him in chapter 7, in the chapter that you're going to read today. So anyway, I want you to pay close attention to the characters, their actions, their words, their thoughts, their appearance, their reputation. In fact, today I want you to do a little bit of writing on this. I want you to pick one character, and discuss how that character is revealed to us, all the different ways that the author characterizes them. For example, you can pick, you can pick any character. Make sure it's a main character because it'll be much easier. It would be kind of hard to write about Much the cook or the forester who Robin Hood kills at the beginning of the story. Obviously, you're going to have a lot more material, a lot more examples. If you pick a main character, you can pick Robin Hood, that's fine, Little John, the Sheriff, Will Stutely, Will Scarlet, or Friar Tuck. And discuss how we know about them, who they are, the way they're revealed to us, their actions, their words, their thoughts, their appearance, their reputation. Just give us paint us a picture of who they are. And remember, always show, don't tell. So if you're going to tell me that Robin Hood is just, or that Robin Hood is brave or noble, or that the sheriff is evil, don't just tell me those things. Show me those things, okay? Use details. Give me vivid details, which we've practiced a lot this year. Make sure you start your paragraph with an indentation and a topic sentence, and then go into those vivid details, and then end your paragraph with a conclusion sentence that once again kind of sums up your main point. So let's aim for around 5 sentences, a minimum of 5 sentences on characterization in Robin Hood. Pick a character and paint a picture of who they are with vivid details. All right. Without further ado, enjoy chapter 7 in How Robin Hood Met Friar Tuck, and then write your paragraph, and we'll see y'all soon. Take care.